So how do you find the right person to marry? Because if we can do that, if you can find the right kind of person, then you're going to solve a massive amount of problems in your life, because we are social beings. We need to solve that kind of problem. Now I'm going to kind of give you the bare bones of what it is. Okay. So for long-term happiness, marry someone kind. Now that sounds like, oh, that is so boring. You see, what most people like to go is kind of get really excited and marry somebody for the shape of their nose and the color of their eyes, right? You're going to get used to that. Like, that's what people, really intelligent people, do. They look for how their face looks like, even though they know they're probably going to get used to that face. Probably they don't realize that, but that's how materialism works. Okay. And then the second important thing is like attracts like. Okay, so you get a person as good as you. So people always kind of going, they want this perfect person and that perfect person, but they're not thinking about who they're like, and they don't understand this very important principle that like attracts like. And I'm going to talk about how that scientifically makes sense and logically makes sense. That if you're a good person, you attract a good person. If you're a selfish person, you naturally attract selfish people. Okay, and everybody thinks they're a good person, but we might have a serious conversation about what is a good person, or are you a good person, am I a good person, or are some, maybe some searching questions. And then the last bit is, if you really want to find a good person, avoid materialism. That means getting obsessed with too many flashy stuff. Like, if you're going to attract a person with your Ferrari or your expensive car, you're going to attract a shallow person, right? And the second thing is, that's not so popular but used to be popular in this country, assisted marriages. I don't like calling arranged marriages because people get confused by that. Assisted marriages means just get more people involved in the matchmaking process. Okay, don't go like for dates, because I'm going to talk about why. Okay, because that basically in makes you do a lot of showing off, and it makes the other person do a lot of showing off, and then you don't get to meet the real person until you're in a relationship with them, and then it's too late. Then you find out later who they really are. Okay, okay, so that will help you basically find a good person. Now I want to stop talking, and I want to get you involved here, Wahid. So I love Wahid for loads and loads of different reasons, and one is he's so genuine, so real. I'm going to put you on the spot, okay? And you can open up as much as you want, okay? You've been married before,
Yes.
all
Yeah.
right? So this could be a hard topic to deal with, as much as you can handle, but I want to keep it as real as possible and useful as possible for the viewers. So, and I'll try to keep it as real as possible as well. I'm married, but it's not always, definitely not a bed of roses. Okay, but you can make it a bed of roses depending on what you do. You can make things better. So let me ask you, what do you think about marrying somebody kind? What are your thoughts about that?
Marrying somebody kind is the best thing you can ever have, you know,
Cool.
because you look at their kindness and not at their materialism and not what they have to offer, but you look at what's in their heart. But then sometimes, in all honesty, that's not enough for some people because some people might feel a bit of inferior complex. Now, when I say inferior,
Real.
I'm
Keep going.
I married it so you could marry a girl who is kind at heart, but then she may be a little bit too overweight. With all due respect to the overweight girls,
Hmm.
some boys or some girls may have a bit of an inferior complex because of size, or fearing that they are going to be overpowered in a relationship. I myself have experienced that 9 years ago.
Right.
The lady that I was married to was a little bit way overweight and she was not kind at heart.
Right.
But if she was, I still think I would have had that feeling of, or you could, that feeling of being overpowered. I mean, can this happen to some people?
So sure. Now let's dive into that. Let's make this really juicy but real. Okay, here's a question for you. Everybody thinks that they're good, right?
Yeah.
Everybody likes to think that they're good. But what would you say is good about you? Sounds really harsh, but like if you had a list of things, this is what I do for other people, what would you say that is?
About me personally,
Yeah, man. I'm putting you on the spot, mate. This is a dangerous show, mate. Keeping it real.
I I do have kindness within me, and honestly,
Yes.
I can be
That's true.
friendly and I can be very caring, which I am. Of
Sure.
course, perfect. I've got my faults.
Yeah. So now I'm going to ask you, do you on a regular basis do some community work? Like every day? So I'm being mean, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it really real. We all, yeah, you know what? Average person in the street, they're basically nice people,
Mm,
right? But how comes there's so many terrible things happening in the world? Because when push comes to shove, people choose selfishness,
mm,
right? So we are not real enough with ourselves about how selfish we are, right? So I ask you a question, I'll ask myself the same question. And I ask that same question every day, every moment of my life. Really, I do. Right. So every day I wake up, and the first thing I have to do at 3 o'clock in the morning is like, what can I do for somebody else at 3 o'clock in the morning? Then
mm,
I'll do something for myself for 10 minutes. Then I'll do something for somebody else for the next 10 minutes. That's how crazy it is. Right. So it'll be like, I'll try to every week make sure teach somebody for free or something, right? And it's
yeah.
not showing off, I'm just trying to give it like a real thing, like every so I will do like 10 different things each day to support somebody else. So I'm writing a book, for example, that I'll get no money for. That would be the first thing I do. Or the second thing I have to do, I pray, and I'll be praying for other people. I don't really pray for myself either,
Mm.
right?
All right.
So that's the idea. So I'm like, how can I, I'll be like, first of all, like all my relatives and friends, how can, please, I'll be say, God, pray for them that they become better people and happier people. Because if you're a better person, then you're a happier person automatically,
Yeah.
right? So those are kind of things like non-stop. So be really harsh on yourself about what it means to be really good. So let me explain why that's so important about finding a good person. We all like to say we're good people, but if you think about what we do for other people, very few people can say we do all these things for free, no expectations. Like I am constantly being rude to people, are rude to me, and I'm nice to them. That's my normal day, right? So or not, if rude, they just ignore me or something. I'm constantly stranger on the street trying to smile at them, all sorts of things, right? But why is it like attracts like? Think about it. If you're a really nasty person and you like, for example, bending the rules, other sort of criminal kind of nasty people will be attracted to you. Be like, oh yeah, I like how you broke that rule, how you stole a bit of money. Can I help you with that? But then good people are not attracted to that, right? And if you're an honest person and there's a liar, that liar would feel uncomfortable with you because they're like, oh no, are you going to keep telling the truth? Because I want to do something bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So naturally, good people are attracted to good people. And if you're an exceptionally good person, people who are really good, they're going to be looking out for you. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
next, hopefully, when you get married again, I really hope you do. Push yourself to become a better person. And there's kind of the practical reality, and I think that the spiritual reality where God attracts better people towards you. And that's kind of enough time for that. But thank you so much. I appreciate for the first question being really open about that one.